is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're gonna be doing a tier list of the best small forwards right now in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. Now, before I dive into it, guys, the small forward position, in my opinion, is pretty deep right now. Like guys like Jason Tatum, guys like Chris Middleton, you know, those are types of guys that can play multiple positions. Their primary position, though, is this shooting small forward position, and so that is where they're going to be at on, you know, that's why they're on this list instead of some other list. And before I dive anything further, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys smash that subscribe button, as we're on the road towards 110,000 subscribers. Every sub, every like on this video, man, helps out a ton. We're gonna start it off with the pink diamond Brandon Ingram. Now, before we put Brandon Ingram in his specific spot on this list, let's look at the card. 93 ball, 85 driving dunk, 83 speed ball, 90 ball handle. Does get an 85 speed acceleration, 83 lateral quickness. Now, what is the problem with Brandon Ingram? Well, I hate to break it to you guys, but a 60 strength at this point on my team is pretty low. Okay, I'm not saying that Brandon Ingram's bad, but that 60 strength's a little bit low. Dribble sigs are okay. To me, guys, Brandon Ingram's a B tier small forward. If you want to be higher on Brandon Ingram, you guys can. I don't really, you know, I don't hate if you guys are higher on him, having that A tier. I just don't think he is that next level of good. Wally Szczerbiak, hey, a lot of these trophy case small forwards are cards I'm not super high on. Wally Szczerbiak is another one of those guys. Has every shooting badge in the game. Defensively, a Hall of Fame off-ball pest. That definitely is not bad and definitely can help him out. But it just is not great, right? You look up and down Wally Szczerbiak. I get he's going to shoot the ball great, but his release, the definition of mid, his dribble sigs, I mean, are okay. Is he great? No. That's why he does wind up here at B tier. Peja Stojakovic, a card I'm actually higher on than the previous two. Wondering why? Well, let's start with this, okay? He's 6'9". Now, I get his speed is low, but for me specifically, you give him Monty Williams, his speed goes up to an 84. His interior is fine. His perimeter is fine. Driving dunk is low, okay? I will give you guys credit where it is due. The driving dunk rating on this Peja Stojakovic card is at a 70. That's not good, right? He's basically a 3-and-D guy, a card you're going to want to run a lot of pick and pops with. But on the defensive end of the court, I think he holds it down a little bit more just because he is that 6'9" compared to Brandon Ingram and Wally Szczerbiak. Our first S-tier small forward, and that is Scottie Pippen, okay? A card that, look, if you've grinded level 40, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I do hype this card up. Scottie Pippen can do no wrong in my team. His release, incredible. Defensively is great. Now, is he the best on-ball defensive player in the game? A lot of people might be wondering that. Some people might be asking that. To me, he's not, okay? If you want to know why, well, comes down to his tendencies. They're not bad, but they're just not great in my team. But good 3-ball, great speed, defensively, absolutely elite. Scottie Pippen is going to play on my squad for a very, very long time. And in my opinion, is still the best small forward in the entire game. Now, I just realized, again, similar to my past tier list, I've been going over some of the best in the game. Let's go to some of the worst in the game. Let's move some of these pink diamonds up in here because they, you know, belong at the top of this list. And let's go over some of the rubies here. Ruby Kawhi Leonard, he's not even bad, okay? You guys got to realize D tier on this list is not bad. Is he great? No, okay? It's that simple. Same thing with LeBron James. Both LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard are cards you can play. And if they're your favorite small forward in the game, or if you're, you know, no money spent and they're your small forwards right now, they can play, they can compete. So I'm not sitting up here in front of you guys saying, you know, these cards are horrible, they can't play. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying compared to some other guys on this list, they're just not at the top. Both D tier small forwards, and so is Xavier McDaniel. None of these cards are F tier, okay, that we've covered so far, because all three of these guys can play. They're just not that next level of good. Now, when you look at Kawhi, when you look at Brown, when you look at X-Men, all three of those guys, it's preference space. Kawhi probably going to be the best, maybe 3-and-D option. LeBron's another 3-and-D option that can attack the rim a little bit better. Xavier McDaniel maybe has the best player model, maybe the best at going to be attacking the rim. But you know, you can't go wrong either anyways. Now, Fred Jones, that's our first F tier card. A lot of people were excited when they got Fred Jones as far as a free card in my team. The problem with him is he's not good, okay? His driving dunk is good, 3-ball is good, speed's okay. He's got a 65 lateral quickness, can't defend on the interior or the perimeter. I mean, this card is horrible. 6'4", the card Fred Jones might be the worst card on the entire list. Gordon Hayward, our next card here, is another S tier small forward in my team. Now, I've been high on Gordon Hayward since the cards, stats, badges got released. And since I shot with this gold Gordon Hayward, who was absolutely chick. Here's what I like about Gordon Hayward, okay? Good 3-ball, really solid defensively. There's no flaws in this card. Like for Richard Hamilton, for example, when I was using him, it's like, okay, you know, his player model is not great. He's not a great defensive player. Yes, he's good offensively. But this Gordon Hayward can get the job done in all categories. Even has that 85 driving dunk, which is low-key one of the most underrated parts about Gordon Hayward. Yes, he can shoot. Yes, he can play defense. But the driving dunk is underrated. I think in general, people are eventually going to realize how good Gordon Hayward is and talk about him as being a top 5 trophy case player in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. Down back to the bottom, we got Shawn Marion, another F-tier caliber player. Like if you look at Kawhi Leonard, you look at LeBron, those cards are good. Maybe Shawn Marion's not that bad. It's just his release when it comes to it. I'm going to throw him at D tier. Because stat badge-wise, he's better than Bron. He's better than Kawhi. He's better than Xavier McDaniel. The problem with this card lies in the release and the fact that he can't handle the ball at all. So if you can't handle the ball at all, nobody can green shots with you because your release is horrible. What really do you provide on the court, right? And that's the question for Shawn Marion. I get defensively, he's still going to be fine. Timothy, his release is so quick. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Y'all can let me know if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but I just have a really hard time believing Shawn Marion's release is good. I could be completely wrong, though. RJ up next, another S-tier small forward. Now, honestly, I think his best position is that shooting guard position. RJ gives you the best of everything, okay? And a lot of people have been making this comparison, and I want to talk about it, okay? A lot of people have been making this comparison. Between Richard Jefferson, between Michael Jordan, who's the better overall card, okay? Same driving dunk. RJ's way better 3-ball, way better. Speed basically the same. Lateral quickness, MJ's a little better. Interior, RJ's a little better. I think this comparison is valid, right? When you're asking me, okay, Ty, well, who's the better option between these two? I think you can make the argument either way. Now, who would I argue? I don't know. I've been using MJ a ton. And the reason I personally maybe like MJ more is because of that 98 on-ball steal tendency. But RJ does have Hall of Fame slippery off-ball, corner specialist, catch and shoot, some great finishing badges, posterizer, and then even defensively. I mean, off-ball pass post-stick. I get the no Hall of Fame clamps, but his player model is going to be larger than MJ's as well. Don't be surprised, guys, if I get RJ on my road to 250K squad very soon and he plays this weekend at 250K. I think he is that good and that elite in my team. That's my firm opinion on RJ. I think he is literally him, S tier easily. Next up, guys, going back to the bottom, Amy Grant Hill. I think he is the definition of what a C tier small forward looks like. He's going to be better than Kawhi, Ruby. Gonna be better than LeBron. Gonna be better than Xavier McDaniel. Is he great? No. Now, I gotta stress this. If you get a Grant Hill and you fully badge him out, all these badges can be upgraded. So if you get a Grant Hill and do fully badge him out and spend like 500K badging him out, you're looking at one of the best small forwards in the entire game. You can't tell me a fully badged Grant Hill is not. With a 78 3-ball, 92 speed, great perimeter, good lateral quickness, every badge in the game basically. Y'all can't tell me he's not a top small forward in the game. The problem is you'd have to badge him out to make him that good, and nobody's going to spend their time doing that. Michael Finley up next. Am I wrong by putting Michael Finley in B tier? I mean, I think Michael Finley's A tier. I think he's better than Wally Szczerbiak. I think he's better than Brandon Ingram. Now, you guys might be asking, Ty, how? How is Michael Finley better than those guys? Well, comes down to this. His driving dunk is a 90. I mean, it's really that simple. Defensively, it's not going to be bad, not going to be great. The problem is his interior is really low. Does get Hall of Fame fast twitch, posterizer, great shooting badges. I know his release is slow, but I'm still taking him over Brandon Ingram and Wally Szczerbiak. Up next, Ami Kawhi. He's B tier. I mean, yes, I get it. You guys might be like, Ty, what? He's barely better than the Ruby. Now, here's what you guys got to realize, okay? Compare the Ruby to the Ami. The Ami has so many more badges. Stat-wise, I get there's not that much of a difference. But when you look at the badges, base Ruby Kawhi has 17 Hall of Famers. You look at the Ami Kawhi, he's got what? 35 or so badges in general. That's the big deal. Ami Kawhi is B tier. You guys might think I'm gassing it, but I don't really care. He's him in my team. Another guy that is him is Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum. I'm telling you, this card is absolutely elite. His release, one of the smoothest in the entire game. Defensively, super underrated. He is the definition of chick. You want a guy that's going to get the job done at an elite level that you guys are going to be able to green basically every shot you shoot with. That might be Jason Tatum for you guys. I'm just throwing it out there. I definitely like JT. JT is a hooper in my team. And I think most of you guys, if you do use him and get used to him, are going to absolutely love Jason Tatum. I've got him on my road to 250K, and he is here to stay. Like, Jason Tatum is one of my favorite cards right now in the entire game. Up next, guys, we are going to go to the Amethyst Danny Granger, and I just think he's the definition of mid. Honestly, I'm going to go D tier with Danny Granger. You guys might like the card, but I want you guys to see what I'm seeing, okay? You might like the card, and he's not bad, but he has that Andre Kirilenko release, which is just so slow in my team. If you've got the Andre Kirilenko release, it's just a killer because it is so slow, man. And you guys can say I'm gassing it, whatever you want. But it literally is one of the slowest releases in the entire game. Can you green with it? Yes. Is it easy to time, easy to green? Absolutely. But again, we've got to talk about it. It is slow, okay? So, I mean, you're going to have to definitely have some space, some separation to even get it off. And why would you run this card when Andre Kirilenko's in the game? It just doesn't make sense to me. Cash Money Chris Middleton up next. I love Chris, and right now I'm going to have him at S tier, but he's probably the worst card right here at S tier. And that's not me saying Chris Middleton's bad, because I like Chris. I think Chris Middleton is good. My whole thing is he as good as Jason Tatum? Is he as good as the likes of Scottie Pippen? Your answer is going to be no, okay? And so that's just the one thing to think about. I like Middleton, I do. Way better on next gen than current gen, where he can get that normal leaner. He's just not that next level good. Jalen Williams up next. I think C tier is the right spot for Jalen Williams. He's a card that if you play him, he's not going to kill you on the court. Here's the problem, though, with Jalen Williams. Here's where the problem lies. The release, not the quickest. And outside of that, what does he really give you? On defense, I mean, I'm going to say it. You guys can disagree if you want to. But on defense, I think you're looking at another definition of mid in my team. Defense is upper 70s, low 80s. Defensive badges aren't great. And with Evo cards, you got to remember, it's not like you can go and make them better on defense. How they come is how they stay. You can't apply badges to them. So for Jalen Williams, yes, I get his driving dunk is good, but what else does he give you on the court? And in my opinion, it's not much. He's C tier. Pink Diamond Kawhi, S tier. We got to move Middleton down. I don't want to move Middleton down, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Is he as good as some of those guys at S tier? The answer is no. And so I think Middleton at A tier is where he belongs. If you're talking next gen specifically, maybe you find a way to put him at S tier. I still think he is really solid, even though, I mean, he is decently pricey. But even for his specific price, I think, it's not horrible in my team. You can make the case Chris Middleton still deserves to be in S tier. Up next, we get Dang. I don't know where to put him either. I'm going to go C tier again for Dang. Now, here's the problem with him, okay? His 3-ball is at a 69. Now, I get it. Low 3-balls, you can still green with them, okay? I 100% get that. I 100% agree with that. I 100% understand that. Now, the problem is, what else does he give you on the court? I get defensively, he's quite a bit better than Jalen Williams. 100% I agree with that. But his driving dunk's not great. His 3-ball is at a 69. He can't really handle the ball. He's kind of just... he just doesn't give you a whole lot outside of the defensive end of the court. But he is 6'10", some solid defensive badges. He's solid in my team, deserving of C tier. Dominique Wilkins, I'm going to go B tier with Dominique Wilkins. Not a card I love, but he can present a lot of challenges for people. 6'7", 6'10" wingspan, good badges. The 95 driving dunks, what to really look at here. Defensively, he is solid. The problem is, he came out nearly a little over a month ago. And so that's the problem with Dominique Wilkins. He's not bad, but for this stage of my team, he's just not great. George Gervin up next. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, Ty, you are too low on some of these amethysts. I personally believe Gervin's better than Danny Granger. I'm throwing George Gervin into C tier. He's not great by any means, but defensively he's solid. Got a decent enough 3-ball. Attacking the rim, he's going to be okay. Is he worth the lock-in? Absolutely not. Do not lock in for George Gervin. But if for some reason you have locked in for George Gervin, the card can play. He's a C tier small forward in my team. And I think, to me at least, it's an easy C tier. It's not like it's a hard time to put him at C tier. It's an easy C tier. Carmelo Anthony. A lot of people are going to want him at S tier. I don't got him at S tier. I don't. And the reason is, S tier is so elite. Is he better than Scottie Pippen, RJ, JT, Kawhi? You can make that argument depending on how you play. For me and how I play, Melo is not better than those guys I just mentioned, okay? And again, a lot of it is preference-based. If he fits your play style, you can run him. The card is really good. My whole thing is defensively, he leaves a lot to be desired. If there's one guy on defense that I like to attack, a lot of the time, it is Carmelo Anthony. His interior is not great. I get his release is incredible, but it's just a complete player. I right now do got him in that A tier category. Up next, guys, we do see Bruce Bowen. Now, for budget ballers, Bruce Bowen is really good, okay? But that's the one thing you guys got to understand. I just said budget ballers, okay? If you're a budget baller, absolutely. Plug in Bruce Bowen in your lineup. You're going to like the card. You're going to have a lot of success with him. Now, if you have all the MT in the world, there is no reason to run this card. He's not great. Defensively, he can get the job done. Shooting-wise, he can get the job done. Playmaker-wise, he's horrible, okay? I mean, look at the speed ball handle, playmaking badges. Horrible. But defensively, and as far as shooting the ball, he's going to do that at a pretty high level in my team. Next up, we do see the Diamond Kawhi Leonard. So with my Kawhi Leonard, you're going to notice a trend. Amy Kawhi B tier, Diamond Kawhi A tier, Pink Diamond Kawhi S tier. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. They're just going to continue to gradually improve and gradually get better. Chris Mullin, I'm putting in C tier. He's going to do one thing at an absolutely elite level in my team, and that's shoot the ball. Defensively, he's not even horrible. If you look at his stats and badges, they're not horrible. Not great, but not horrible. But let me tell you guys, Chris Mullin is absolutely chick in my team. Now, if you want to run the Mitch Richmond, Chris Mullin duo, do what you got to do. I would never suggest running it, but hey, if you're really down bad, I guess you can run that duo. But Chris Mullin, pretty solid in my team. Paul Pierce, he's C tier. Like, I'm sorry for all the Paul Pierce stands out there that want me to put Paul Pierce higher. I'm not doing it, guys. He's not bad, okay? He's not bad. Can defend, has a decent 3-ball. I don't love his release, but the card is not horrible in my team. He's C tier. C tier is not bad, though. That's what you guys got to understand. Every one of these guys at C tier and even D tier can play and can compete. Alex English up next. I like Alex English. Better at that shooting guard position than small forward, but he's B tier, okay? And why? Well, because the majority of people watching this video probably aren't going to green consistently with Alex English. Now, one thing I will say is it's easier than ever this year specifically to green with a low 3-ball. And because his release is the Carmelo Anthony release, I think you can make the case for Alex English. Do I think the card's great? No. Defensively, though, he's going to compete at a very, very high level. Last but certainly not least, we get Elgin Baylor, and he's F tier. I mean, okay, that's gassing it. He's D tier. His release is horrible. Every time I use Elgin Baylor, I get grossed out. I mean, this release is horrible. Can we take a minute, though, and realize if Elgin Baylor had a decent release, how good this card would be? I mean, just take a minute, think about it. He's got Hall of Fame bully. He's got so much going for him. If 2K would have just given this card I'm not even talking about a great release. I'm just talking about a decent release in my team. He would be one of the best players to run at that small forward position. The problem is his release is absolutely horrible in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. So this is our tier list today, okay? I need to know your thoughts down below in the comments. I think the tier list looks pretty good. C tier, D tier, both those tiers, I think you can play those cards. Fred Jones, at this stage, I would not play. B tier and up, you're looking at some absolutely elite small forwards. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.